Good morning on this glorious day, Thursday, September 11th. We all were shocked yesterday at the senseless murder, at the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Gunned down at a college that's supposed to be all about freedom of ideas, in front of thousands of young people, and I think according to reports in front of his own little 2 children and his wife. Where has our country gone? That we find violence the way to deal with differences of opinion, where the people that say they are the most liberal and open-minded can't tolerate opinions that are not theirs. In a new study lately, they said that 35% of young people in America believe that violence is a legitimate way to deal with someone who you disagree with their speech on campus. They use an example of Elon Musk. Where have we gone? Some of you remember the assassination of John F. Kennedy, the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan. This summer, someone tried to kill President Trump, and here a young man of 31 years old is gunned down, is murdered, just because of his views, and people are celebrating all over the internet. Have we lost our heart? Have we lost our conscience? Is this who we've become? So senseless and so intolerant of opinions that are different than ours? I didn't agree with many of opinions that Charlie Kirk had, but that's not relevant. He was a man who used his speech, who listened to other people's ideas, who argued, who debated, and who had every right in the free America to raise his family and have his views. And if you didn't like it, you go to the voting ballot or you speak out against it. But violence? It's a painful day. And especially coming on September 11th, 24 years since September 11, 2001, the murder of 3,000 Americans, where today we have many, both on the woke right and the woke left, who justify what happened on September 11th, or who have conspiracies to say that it wasn't done by those that they think it was. It was a plot of the Mossad, or it was people that deserved it, or America deserved it. We have a mayor running in New York City who's friends, close friends, and hangs out with a guy who openly says that America deserved September 11th. Where have we gone? It should lead each and every one of us, to contemplate and to think about where we're standing in our life, how we deal with our friends or maybe our enemies, and to tone down the rhetoric, and to notice and understand that our opinions aren't the only ones, and our way isn't the only one. This week's Torah portion is Kisavai. In the portion of Kisavai, we read the blessings and the curses. Moses tells the Jewish people, when you come into the land of Israel, you should go Judea, Samaria, and Mount Abel, Mount Gerizim, and half of the tribes went on one side, half of the tribes went on the other mountain, and in the middle were the Kohanim. And they said the blessings and the curses. And the blessings and the curses are strong, that God says if we don't keep the Torah, if we don't act ethically and morally and follow the ways of Hashem, then all these things will happen. And the story is told of the Mittler Rebbe. The Mittler Rebbe was the son of the Alter Rebbe, who was the founder of the Chabad movement. Today, besides being September 11th, and besides being all the other things, it's also Chai Elul. Chai Elul is the day when the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Hasidic movement, who brought so much light into this world, infused this world with light and joy, was born, and so was the Alter Rebbe, the founder of the Chabad movement. So the Mittler Rebbe, his son, one time, it was after this Shabbat, Parshat Kitovo and Shul, and when he heard the curses, he got so sick from the curses that when it came to Yom Kippur, a few weeks later, they thought he wouldn't be able to fast because he was so weak. He couldn't tolerate listening in Shul to all the things that God says will befell the Jewish people if they don't follow the Torah. And someone asked him, he said, I don't understand. Don't you hear this every year from your father? Don't you hear this every year? So why this year did he get sick? And it so happened to be that year, the Alter Rebbe, his father, was out of town and someone else read the Torah. And he said like this, he said, when my father reads the Torah, I don't hear curses, I hear blessings. Think about this. Even the darkest verses that speak in such painful ways, when the Alter Rebbe saw it, he found within it a blessing. The Baal Shem Tov tells us that when you look at the curses, deep within the curses, there's blessings that we have to hidden, that we have to reveal, that we have to unearth through our deeds. But ultimately, even those curses have blessings within them. And therefore, the Mittler Rebbe said, when I didn't hear it from my father, someone else read it, it sounded coarse the way it was, and I couldn't handle it. But when my father read it, it sounded like blessings, even these curses. Imagine if so by the verses, how much more so in a human being. Sometimes you see a person, and all you could see is negativity. All you could see is an opinion that you feel is terrible for the future of America, for the future of our country, for the future of our people. But if you dig down deep enough, you find the soul of God. Maybe that's what we need to be able to tolerate each other more. To look and to see a little deeper in the human being than just the surface. 2001 in the summer was one of the worst bombings in the history of Israel. It was the Sbarro pizza shop where tens of people were killed. And there was this one father who was in Israel with his grandson, and he was going to get pizza. And he came to the pizza shop and he got in line, and his son started saying to him, Daddy, his grandson, I saw a toy, I want to get the toy a block away. Could you please go? And his father said, listen, we're in line for pizza. There's a long line. Let's just get the pizza and then we'll get it. And the kid nagged him. Finally, after 10 minutes, the guy in front of him in line says, sir, why don't you just go with your grandson, get him the toy, I'll watch your space. Or I'll buy you the pizza and you'll come back, you'll get it. And that's what happened. He takes his grandson, he walks out of the store, and only a minute later, the bomb explodes, killing and maiming tens of people. This man is in shock. He realizes that this other person saved his life. And the question is, how's he going to find him if he survived? And he went to the hospital to visit the injured. For a day or two, he tried to figure out, and at the end, he figured out that this man survived. He came to visit him. He thanked him profusely for saving his life and for the courage he had, the miracle he made for him and his grandson. He says, listen, I want to repay you. He came to visit him every day. And before he left back to America, he came and he gave him his number. And he said, listen, if you ever have to come to New York, or if you ever need anything, just know that I am available to help you. A few weeks later, he's in New York. And he gets a call, this man. And it's the guy from Israel who saved his family. And he says, listen, I have to go visit a doctor in New York because of my injuries. And I'm going to be coming to New York. And the guy says, really? Well, guess what? I'm going to pick you up from the airport. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take you out. And I'm going to make sure you have everything you need. He comes to New York. He picks him up. At the airport, he brings him to his house. He's going to stay with him. He says, tell me which date is your appointment. He tells him the date of the appointment. And he says, I'm going to take off from work and I'm going to take you to your appointment. And that's what happens. That day, he takes off of work. He takes him to the hospital, to the doctors, to visit everything, to get all his appointments. That day was September 11th, 2001. And this lovely Jewish man who was saved with his grandson worked on the 80th floor of the Twin Towers. Now, he wasn't saved once, but he was saved twice by this man who he had gratitude to and showed his gratitude. May Hashem give us, and we should never forget what happened to our country on September 11th. We should never forget the values we hold dear and that radical Islam wants to pull and rip away from us. We should fight dearly for who we are. We're seeing it in Israel now and throughout the world. It's a fight of Western civilization. It's a fight of our values, of our democracy, of our freedoms against radical Islam who wants to change our country and our world and Israel. May Hashem protect us all. And may God comfort the family of Charlie Kirk. And may we all learn from this, to tone down our rhetoric, show more tolerance and love and empathy, especially in these days before Rosh Hashanah. Have a great day.